using the system,
So if we have to pay for that
and no
little
one
bit.
else does, that we may have to, or just be okay, can you come in and just show us?
Yeah,
Probably should have anyways,
fine.
you know? And I can help them kind of,
Good.
you know, but it sounds like accountants are already doing it.
What's that?
Accountants are using this paperless system. They still print it out for us at the end because it's not fully, but internally,
Yeah.
just to them, they are.
Yeah,
So
they
they're-
still-
All right, it is 7:30. I will call to order the town board meeting of February 5th, 2026. Would you all please rise for the pledge of allegiance? Oh, come on, Joe. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Janine, would you like to do roll call?
Supervisor Sheldon,
Here?
Councilman Cahill,
Here.
Councilwoman Wright. Here. Councilman Hunter,
Here.
Councilman Wagner,
Here.
Attorney for the Town Taylor.
Here. All right, now, before we begin our usuals, we have very exciting proclamations tonight, so I would like to invite Chief Kohlmeyer up to the podium to hand out proclamations to Officer Thomas Turner, Adrian Humphrey, and Derek Blakely, if you would all like to join us up at the podium, please. Now, for those of you who don't know, a few days before Christmas, a woman had driven her car accidentally into the retention pond over at the Kohl's Plaza, and these three, along with one other, heroically jumped in and saved her life. So, I am very honored to be giving this out right now. But I just want to say, a proclamation for heroic action presented to Derek Blakely, Mohammed Jadoo, Adrian Humphrey, and Officer Thomas Turner. Whereas the courage and empathy required to rescue another life are immeasurable, the town of Webster is fortunate to have those who act in the face of adversity, especially in support of their neighbors in our community. And whereas on December 23rd, Derek Blakely, Mohammed Jadoo, Adrian Humphrey, and Officer Thomas Turner quickly responded to a dire situation that developed when a vehicle plunged into a pond at Webster Town Center. Thinking only of the safety of the driver, they entered the frigid water and worked together to rescue the driver from the submerged vehicle. And whereas these heroes had no knowledge of who was inside the vehicle, nor did they have any knowledge of the identity of the others entering the pond to help, they were united by the mission to save a life in danger. And whereas compassionately, Derek, Mohammed, Adrian, and Thomas ensured the driver was secured on land and deemed stable before leaving the site of the accident. Each of these individuals who entered the water to help are well regarded for their responses when disaster arose, and all serve as a powerful example of what it means to look out for the well-being of others. And whereas the quick response time of these four witnesses led to a successful rescue without serious or life-threatening injuries, what could have been a disastrous situation at the end of 2025 turned out much better thanks to the courageous actions of good Samaritans. Their noble deed and swift action cannot properly be extolled. Now therefore be resolved, on behalf of the Webster Town Board and the entire Webster community, we extend our sincerest appreciation for your heroic action in service of Webster. Chief Kohlmeyer has a message from the family of the woman in question.
Yeah, first of all, thank you. It goes without saying that putting yourself in danger, and again, this was not a warm summer day. This was December in upstate New York. That water was frigid. So that was a very dangerous situation. I appreciate your courage. The family is very thankful. They're unfortunately were able to be here tonight. They wanted to. The resident that was driving the vehicle was a lifelong Webster resident, 65 years in town. The family is very thankful for your efforts and wanted to pass along a sincere, heartfelt thank you.
Now, I do want to give them a chance to say anything if they want. I know, Adrian, you wanted to say a few words, but we'd love to hear from you.
On that day, Derek was the first one in the water, and Mohammed, who I didn't have a chance to really talk to that day, I was third in line to enter the water, and Officer Turner, I thought he was going to arrest us for going swimming in the pond. But no, I just want to say that I'm thankful and grateful to be a part of this Webster family. I work part-time in the Community Development Office as Assistant Building Inspector, and it's a great work environment. So a couple days a week I come out and I enjoy it. Also, I want to thank my Brighton family and my fiance, and I'm a transplant, so I'm not originally from here. So I'm glad to be a part of where life is worth living.
I grew up in Webster, actually. I moved to East Irondequoit halfway through high school. I grew up on Phillips Road, and yeah, I love Webster. I'm happy I was there at that moment. I just want to share a little bit of a message about the things that pushed me to go into the water. Last year, I was suffering with just a lot of hard times, and I quelled those difficult times by going into ice water and training into the ice water. And I just really want to thank the Lord, God, Jesus, for pushing me to do those things and putting me in that place at the right time, because he changes all things to good. And that suffering that I went through, and I went to the ice water for training to help with all of that, he turned all that into a moment where I could save someone's life. And I just think that's so special. That's awesome. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, guys. And I appreciate you all.
I just want to say thank you, but I really want you guys to give them another round of applause because they really do.
All right, we will now begin the 5 minutes open to the floor. Our open to the floor rules, public comment are limited to 5 minutes per person. Once the 5 minutes are up, you will be done speaking and we will be moving on to the next. I will wave my hand in the air when you're at 4 minutes so that you may know that, you have enough time to wrap it up. If you ask any questions, the board is not entitled to answer. If you wish your questions to be answered, please connect with our town clerk and provide an email address. We are happy to connect with you then. Please respect the speaker at the podium. This means no booing or shouting or disruptions while they are speaking, whether or not you agree with them. Threatening statements will not be tolerated. Other than that, our first person up is Chris Naka.
Chris Naka, 1065 Shoecraft. As they're walking out, I just want to thank you all again for your, bravery, and that's really special, and we need more people like you in the community. That's great. Transplant or not, that's awesome. Good work, good work. Yeah, it's been a good week. A lot has went on in this room. There's been a lot of good discussions and a lot of thoughts on what Webster's going to be like in the future has been taking place, a lot of planning, and it's good to see a lot of new faces in here and those faces seemingly coordinating with each other to make Webster the best place it can be. And I just want to say that I'm proud of all of you and I respect all of you, and it's nice to be able to come here and talk to you occasionally.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. All right, Derek and Adrian signed up, but they have left. Kevin, would you like to speak? I know you normally...
Oh, thank you for that.
No? Okay. Absolutely. Of course. Monica, I believe you are...
Ditto what Chris said. Thank you. Well, one thing is that I want to thank the board for everything. and the residents. The other thing is, I want to praise the plow drivers. They're doing an excellent job. But there's just one complaint I have, and I have a resolution to that, maybe. Of course, you know that you don't know, but I shovel out our fire hydrant, which is right on, because our house is on the corner of 250 and Tall Birch Trail. So there's a fire hydrant right on 250, and it stands back about maybe about 8-10 feet from 250. So I'm out there shoveling all the time. Plow truck comes, you know, and puts a little bit of snow back in, so I shovel that out too. I'm standing out there, and of course, Dennis wants me to put a reflective vest on because he says you can't be seen. I'm not that small. So I'm out there, and I shoveled it out, and the plow truck comes by, and they look at me, and, you know, I smile, I wave, and they come by, and there's more snow that comes in. At one point, there was snow up to my, I would say up to my waist that I had to get rid of out there. The resolution for that would be, because I want them coming by all means, is that I've seen them go around the bins that people put out when there's recycle and garbage being picked up in the morning. I've seen them go around it and then go back into the area to plow. If they could just, when they see a fire hydrant in the vicinity, because you can't miss them because they have the pole up, if they could just maybe pick up that plow part or just go around it without having to push the exorbitant amount of snow in, because what I also do is I go into the street when there's no cars, and I literally make a path, you know, not a path, I push the snow that's where they're plowing. I pick it up and I put it onto the side of the road so that they don't have to come and plow that portion to push through. Am I making sense?
Yep.
Oh, good, because I see it in my mind what I'm saying. And then the part that's on the right side, because here's the area, when it's over here, I push it and I make a big pile over here, you know, so I'm trying not to put it into the street. Though on occasion, I will tell you I have. So that, my only resolution to that would be if they could possibly either lift up that part of the shovel, on the plow on the side, or go around it a little further out into the street without any cars coming by, because I don't want them endangered or anybody else. That's it. Because they're doing a great job, no complaints about that. Love Webster, and that's it, I think. Well, I did have something else, but it's not important right now. Okay, I have more time.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Oh, one more thing. If you are near a fire hydrant, please shovel them out. Every minute counts.
True statement. Is there anybody else that would like to come up that did not sign in? Yep, please come up, state your name. And we will begin your 5 minutes after.
Name is Scott Steinfeld, been a longtime Webster resident. Webster has been doing a great job snow plowing, I'd say, especially on the state and county roads. First question I have for the board, I do believe the town gets paid for plowing and salting in county and state roads, is that correct? Okay, they do, okay. My question is on tax-paying residents and subdivisions not getting our roads plowed on a continuous basis and salted. We do pay taxes. Is there a reason for that I don't know of?
I will, if you give us your email, we will get to the highway superintendent who can answer this question.
Where do I send the email to? Just
You can send it to mine, and I will get
Okay.
it out, but Pat Stevens is our highway superintendent.
Okay. Because today, I've had I live on a corner, or circle, and I've so far removed 4 cars from that because of ice and snow. My cul-de-sac, again, did not get plowed today. That's just the first time, you know, I happen to know a lot about the business. So, yeah, I live on Cherry Laurel Circle. They can look it up and see that they didn't plow it yet. And I know they work until 11 o'clock tonight, and I appreciate if they could call someone who's sitting there and whip around that development. it'd probably be much appreciated, maybe put a little salt down too. So that's my biggest complaint. I'm sure a lot of Webster residents in the community who own houses and developments, because I see them all the time during winter storms, all the time, all hours. So, same thing. They're not getting to the subdivisions in a timely fashion. Other townships, Penfield, Brighton, also spend time in there. They do. Somehow they figure it out. I watched you guys plow Sparks on Route 250 this morning, okay? But you get paid for it. Drop the plow, you're getting paid for every lane mile you do. I mean, you're spreading sparks around. But you don't go on my development? Really? So that's why I'm addressing the town board tonight, and also the highway department. I know they're probably not here tonight, but I would appreciate if you do address the highway department. I have addressed them already several times, and every year this is about the same response, and I think it's time to start taking care of the Webster residents in their neighborhoods. We pay taxes. I would like you to bring that up to the highway superintendent. Maybe it'd be better coming from you than me. That's really all I say. I noticed the parking lot looks really good out here. It's all nice and salted and dried. So I'm sure you guys worked hard. I'm sure they worked hard on that. I know as I was walking in, looks very good. Can't say the same about my development. I pushed out a car tonight before I came here, so, out of my front yard.
All right, yeah, no, just if you give us your email contact, we will get with
No,
Patsy.
I'll email you my
Oh,
contact.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll get right in touch with you.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. All right, is there anybody else? No? All right, so we will move on to regular town business then. Have reviewed the minutes for the workshop and meeting on January 22nd. So I would make a motion that we approve the minutes from the January 22nd workshop.
Second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye?
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
I would also like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 22nd town board meeting.
Second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye?
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
Garrett, you had the honors of signing all the papers, so you're
Yep.
up.
So I would like to make a motion for consideration to approve bills as submitted by the Director of Finance.
Second.
Councilman Wagner,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye?
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright.
Aye.
All right, I would like to make a motion to approve prepaid warrants as submitted by the Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye?
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
I would like to make a motion to approve purchase orders as submitted by the Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye?
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
All right, I would like to make a oh, yeah. Paul, as we are looking to approve budget transfers and budget amendments, are there any comments that you have as a
Sure, I'll-
Director of Finance?
I'll give you a little explanation, Alex. Yeah, most of these are just year-end cleanup, a lot of smaller transfers between accounts, but it also includes GASB 87 and GASB 96 adjustments, which you're not going to understand, but it's an entry that needs to be made at the end of the year to reclassify expenditures for leases. They are reclassified to debt, principal, and interest. It's a governmental accounting thing. We do it every year, so I had to shift some money around to cover those, just from one lease account to debt accounts. And there was one budget amendment, and that basically was inspired by the same thing, also GASB related, so that's the most of it.
Paul, technical accounting question for you on that. Do you just make those entries at year end? as like a one-time thing, not on a monthly basis?
Correct. They're for 2025. They're made as of 12/31/25.
Makes sense, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right, GASB 86 and 87, not super
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah. I'm not a fan.
Anyone else have any questions? No? All right, well then I would like to make a motion to approve the 2025 budget transfers as presented by the Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye?
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
And following up on that, I would like to make a motion to approve the 2025 budget amendments as presented by the Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye?
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
All right, this next one, we have Maria Dwyer from our building department to explain a bit more about why we are utilizing the Colliers Engineering for services for the Fast New York grant. For those of you who don't know, it is a grant that we received that was written via WEDA, the Webster Economic Development Alliance, that goes through the town and the village. I believe both are we billed equally. We reached out to Maria to see if she could do any of the grant administration herself. However, given the scope of the project, she recommended that we go with Colliers. So she is available if any board members have any questions regarding this.
I do. If you would, please.
Thank you, Maria.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I asked you a question this afternoon. And
I thought you were gonna be one and done, John.
Yeah, I was hoping. But we're passing a resolution to pay Colliers $40,000, and I know
Yes.
that the village is involved in this too, so it's 40 for the village also.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they have to pass a resolution to also pay them, correct?
I would assume so.
Okay.
John, that is correct. Both village and the town are going to be responsible for their respective portions. If there's any services that Colliers offers that is for both the town and the village, it'll be split evenly.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nick, any questions?
No, I'm all set. Thank you, Maria.
Jen?
The only question is the amount on the amount on the contract, because I know that Colliers has worked on the comprehensive plan, but was there any comparison pricing or a mini bid or any other?
Because Colliers is the interim director of WEDA, I believe it was WEDA's decision to get the Colliers estimate. So it's not really the town or the village having any control over that process, because WEDA is who wrote the grant. So typically, when you write a grant, whoever that agency is that was awarded is the main person, the main contact. All the information flows from them. So we didn't have any of that process to be involved in. I can tell you that the contract is a time and materials contract. So the effort will be billed, but any effort that we put in as a town will make that dollar amount drawdown slower.
Okay. And I saw it was time and materials, and I was just questioning the hourly rate, because I'm not really keenly aware of what a municipal project manager would make, so I'm just questioning the hourly rate, and is that, competitive and reasonable price to approve, that's all.
I'm not the expert in that area, so I wouldn't be able to give a yes or no.
A good question.
So now with Collier involved with WEDA, is this something in the past that Matt Chatfield would have had a role in doing, and we wouldn't have had to pay this money because Matt would have been?
Well, the town and the village and the other agencies that make up WEDA still pay a fee into WEDA.
Correct.
I don't know if it's a yearly or whatever.
Yeah, it's yearly.
It's annual, yes.
But yes, Matt typically would have handled that, but Matt also always worked outside the scope because Matt loved Webster, still loves Webster, he still lives here.
Yes.
So it's hard to compare an organization who is professional and, you know, a much larger group rather than one very dedicated person.
But it's so good for us to plan as we think about that role in WIDA, because we do pay for, we paid for Matt, and now we pay for Collier. This is on top of it. As we balance, at what point do we hire someone to do that? Now we're paying X for Matt, we're paying an extra 40,000 on top of it. We're probably now up to 80 or 90 a year to Collier.
Well, we don't pay for Matt anymore because Matt's
But his
not there.
equivalent, all that money goes to Collier now.
Yes, in
Right.
Collier, so, yes.
So at this point now we're paying Collier
So Matt would
90.
have worked out of the scope, and Collier's is not working out of the scope, so it costs a
Yeah,
little
but this
more.
is a different conversation to have regarding WIDA, because they also do not have benefits that they have to pay to this individual, so it is a contractor, so there is a savings in the end.
So there's no conflict here, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
Wait, just my point is something to think about from a budgetary thing of, yes, if we do this, just continue to monitor that WIDA piece as we continue to spend more money with Matt gone, because yes, Matt did a lot, absolutely, Matt is amazing. With him gone, Collier's not gracious, they're gonna bill us time and materials. At what
Right.
point does it make sense to say, we need to hire someone again or bring this to the town? Separate conversation, but we've gotta now monitor that, because these dollars quickly
You know,
are adding
Yeah.
up.
Great point.
All right, if there's no further questions, I mean, someone want to make a motion on this?
I'll make a resolution to authorize the supervisor to sign a contract with Collier's Engineering for grant administration services related to the Fast New York grant in the amount not to exceed $40,000.
second,
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
aye.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
John, this next one's all you.
Okay, I'll move to approve to go out to bid for chemicals for the wastewater treatment plant, sodium hydrochloride bulk, ferric chloride solution bulk.
Just so everybody is aware, these are standard and bookkeeping things that we do every year for our wastewater treatment plant. But I also second.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
All right, so the next one, we were originally looking to do a workshop on, but Paul says he could probably do a quick explanation here. For those of you who are not aware, currently all of our vouchers, POs, and everything are signed by paper. It requires our board members to come in and actually sit there for a couple hours signing sheets. There is a complicated system called Munis where we could electronically enter everything, but in order to explain, we're looking to temporary part-time position to serve as project manager for this, but Paul can explain this infinitely better than anybody
Yeah,
else.
I'll give you some background on this. As you know, Brayton Connard, our HR director, retired last week. And over the past few years, he's become our lead systems administrator for Munis, our financial software system. So he had been working with Kim Handy to implement the paperless process. Didn't quite get it done, so he has actually expressed interest in coming back for a 60 to 90-day temporary part-time position to complete the implementation. So the open items include testing at the department level to obtain feedback, which I think is very important. Then we want to utilize that feedback to determine which process and which internal control structure to adopt. We'll develop and run various test scenarios and then develop the workflow for the employees and the department heads within the system. So Brayton like to come back. I would welcome his help, so that's what this one is all about. And I think it would take place between March and the end of June. I really don't foresee him working more than like 20 hours a week. He'd be focused on this one task.
Now, I would like to be able to have the board ask questions, and so the public can be aware of, you know, what questions we're asking and what this entails. So Garrett, do you have anything to start?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go next. I met with Paul and Kim earlier this week for an hour and kind of went through little background on the project, what's going on. And, essentially, to shorten the long story in the interest of time, they tried to get this going in the fall with 3 departments. No one participated whatsoever. And we talked through some of the bottlenecks and issues and what needs to be done. And we identified, the best next case is to go with the sewer department, because Mary Ann in sewer used to work entering bills, so she's got experience in the system and the knowledge. So she's that best beta test to move into, and that doing for 30 days will give us some good feedback to look at what's working, what's not, what do we need to change as we go. We discussed some questions on there, and they're pretty nuanced questions we get from an accounting standpoint of like a purchase order under $800, do we attach an invoice, do we not, et cetera. So it seems like there's something we can move forward with Mary Ann in sewer and get some beta testing directly. The biggest issue where we have a gap, which we'll have to flesh out with Brian, is right now to make this system work, you create workflows and rules around the payables and the bills and where they go. Right now, Brian is the only one that knows how to do that. So either we'll have to have him come in and train, or we'll have to, as part of this, if this work ends up being necessary, that could be a separate part of the engagement. And we also discussed for now, having Paul and Kim in accounting be the ones that understand those workflow rules versus IT, because when they start this project, there's gonna be a lot of changes. On a daily basis, this works, this didn't, we gotta change it. It's way easier for them in accounting to, I see an issue, I can fix it, versus I see an issue, I put a ticket into IT, I wait for them to get there, I try and work with them, they're gone, and then I find another one. So we were able to make some good progress in an hour, and I'm happy to kind of still be involved with that and help them. I've got experience in that. And it's something that's clearly important. And I talked to Councilman Cahill as well, that's the liaison to sewer. Same thing, this time with the sewer department, we're all on the same page, right? Sewer department is gonna be our first guinea pig, and John is gonna work with Rick to make sure that Mary Ann has the bandwidth, the capacity, and the direction to do this, so we can get that first beta test to see what works and continue to roll out.
So are you a proponent of hiring Braden or just having him on an on-call basis as roadblocks present?
I think at this point, we need to see as roadblocks present itself. We've got enough to kind of get that ball rolling on sewer and see how it goes. If it blows up out of control and it's more than Paul, Kim, and myself can kind of navigate, and we say, oh my God, we're totally
I
lost.
still haven't had a conversation with the sewer department yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have or not.
No.
So I think that's like the first step. Maybe we
Correct.
consider tabling this for now, and then
And then we can see as it goes, like what, one of the things we looked at with what department to go next, it was a mix between their capacity, their knowledge, and how many invoices. So for example, Deneen, you're very tech savvy, but you do very few invoices. So like, you doing this for 6 months would give us like 6 test cases, which is not enough. So we had to specifically pick which it would be. And we looked at sewer, highway, and Parks and Rec. Mary Ann has the most accounting experience, so this is the easiest lift for her.
well, I need to have a conversation with Rick and Mary Ann because I know that they put a lot. I don't know how much, but she's doing additional work.
Correct.
Outside her normal scope of work at the sewage treatment plant. So I think it definitely warrants having a conversation with Rick and Mary Ann
Yes.
and then giving the feedback to you.
Just as a reminder that we are not hiring Brayton, this is just to authorize the ability to have this, authorize it so we can hire him. So we could go down this road, authorize it, and then not hire him. Also, Paul, quick question, if we do not go with Brayton, what are we looking at in terms of cost, as we have to hire Munis if we do not do Brayton?
Yeah, we've done it before. Tyler Technology offers support. It's roughly $150 an hour. As part of this process, I think we've done 4 sessions with them, 4 4-hour sessions. They would take more of that, so we'd be expending, I'd say, at least $4,000 or $5,000 anyway. And I think it's more worthwhile to have Brayton here. He could devote more hours, and he's got the inside knowledge of our system.
What's his hourly rate? Did he say what the hourly rate was?
He's about $49.62, $49.32 an hour. That's his hourly rate.
Yeah, so it's still early in the process to kind of figure it out of, what it is. I don't know if we just need to vote on this tonight, because we definitely need to get it going. and kind of see a little bit further
Yeah.
where it is. What's the best use? How much time do we need to spend with Munis versus Braden versus our team? You know, what is there, little drops that Braden can come and do and help with? You know, at the end of the day, before he left, it would have been great if he trained at least someone to do
Yes.
the workflow,
Yeah.
because that's, we can't
I
use
think
this without
project's
that.
been going on for like a year, right?
We started talking about this in probably February of last year. The software was purchased in April, May timeframe, maybe?
Yeah, I think we had the software, right. By the end of May, it was installed.
So, there's plenty of time to do it, and I know there was a lot of other things going on, and a lot of these changes, it has to do with change management, and change is difficult. And I understand that, so it really has to be that tops-down mandate to make it a priority. A project like this will, at the end of the day, once it's sorted out, have a pretty significant cost savings for the town, because you're printing a lot of paper. You have to not only spend time coming into the town hall to sign the papers, they also have to be stored, and we have to pay to store them for 7 years. If something needs to be retrieved, you gotta go find the box and find the box it's in and sort through to find the exact document that needs to be retrieved, which I did ask him that, and it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens, I don't know, at least a couple times a month, so there's, and then the other departments actually have to take their stacks of paper and drive them to town hall for highway that's not here, Parks and Rec is not here, sewer's not here. So when you think about all of the time and the paper, there's definitely cost savings, but again, I recognize that it's difficult. One question I have is, when we purchased the software, were there any hours, consulting hours that were built into what we paid?
Yeah, there were some installation and consulting hours that were initially included. I might add also that we are already using this. Kim and I use it. All our journal entries, all the documentation for those are in retroactively for a year. All our receipts, all those documents are in. HR's been utilizing it, so we're already taking advantage of the software. We're just
Yeah,
not
accounting's
quite
been that
all
first
there.
step, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the interesting point that I kind of want to bring it back to the residents and just kind of like clear a little bit what it is that we're voting on. So we have this system, Munis, which is our financial reporting system that we've been using. It has capabilities to take us into the modern age, to make us be digital so that we're not having to use so much paper or sign significant amount of paper every month. So the idea is it's really a resource allocation issue, in that we want to move forward with continuing developing this system that we already have to be able to use it in these appropriate ways to bring us in the modern age, and how do we best afford that resource allocation. So Brayton, who recently retired, has been working on this and is willing to stay on for a little bit, so we do have an opportunity to work with him. So just to kind of bring back to Jennifer, you were making some really good points in that it's ultimately, long-term, it's gonna save us a lot of money. And we do have an opportunity with Brayton right now, and it may be helpful not to have a gap in pushing this down the line, and all of a sudden we're 6 months and maybe we don't have Brayton as an opportunity, and then we're forced to pay 150 hours or $150 an hour. So just to think about the risks in this, and it's everybody's opinion, but I think it's good to move forward, and to move forward timely would benefit us.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion
So
from,
Brayton would be billing us through his consulting firm, is that correct? Or would he
Yes.
be a W-2 employee?
no, he'd be billing us as an independent
So
contractor.
he probably will, in all reality, be available, I would assume.
This
Yes.
is W-2, yeah.
Yeah, he's not a W-2, right?
This piece will be a W-2.
Oh, he will be an
yeah.
employee?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
Well, I'm
for-
definitely a proponent of,
Oh, I
know,
thought this was
trying
a
this for 30
consulting
days.
engagement, and not a W-2.
No, that's when you would come back as a part-time employee, just for 3 months.
And who does this
15.
position report to?
Pardon?
Who does this position report to?
I guess technically it would report to me.
So have any of the other departments tried this system and just are kind of pushing back against it?
no, because the rollout was done in sewer, highway, and Parks and Rec this fall.
It was
They got,
rolled out?
well,
with
they
them?
got, there was a training session in each. and then no one actually did anything with it. There was 0 test cases done once the training was done. So we set up the time to not only, part of this training, we're getting in the weeds, I apologize, folks. Part of the training that was set up was, there is our accounting system we use on a
Right.
daily basis with live data. They create a test accounting system that they could test these in, so if they did something wrong, it wouldn't break it. So we create a whole secondary accounting system to do the test in, then no one used it.
Nope. What?
Not a single person, Parks and Rec, sewer and Parks and Rec, sewer and highway, and I believe did not enter a single invoice,
Yeah.
correct?
So
You're
so
saying
we brought the people
They'll be
in.
utilized as a test
We
database.
had the training session.
Yes.
We set up an accounting system, so if you made a mistake, it wouldn't triple anything,
Correct.
and their departments didn't do anything with it. So now we're gonna bring in somebody else.
We're gonna bring the same person back.
We're gonna bring the same person back
Yeah.
to do the same thing all over again.
Which is why I
No, we
was
didn't get that
referring to
far
the
yet.
organizational change piece and expectation
Right.
setting.
The
and-
department heads are aware that if this happens, they are expected to use this, because we are not gonna waste our time and money. That they are required. I believe that Chris Bilo is already going to be planning on doing it with Parks and Rec. Garrett mentioned using sewer, so I believe we do have enough at this point that are told that they have to use that at this. And last year, the excuse was that it was the end of the year, things got real complicated, they don't have that excuse this time. So if we do spend this money, if we do opt to do this, they will be using it.
Actually, Jenny from Parks and Rec and Allison from the Highway told me today that they will do testing within the next week.
But then we just got to figure out the scope of that testing of what do we need. You know, ultimately, I have experience with this in my background. I'm happy to help. I'm not sure at this time, you know, we need to bring Brian in to add true value to this project. I don't want to get more into the details than that, but that is my opinion, that we should table this motion for now as we further go and see the best use for
Is
his
that your
time.
motion? You can make a motion to table it?
There. I make a motion to table Resolution 9. Do I have to fully?
Yeah.
Make a motion to table Resolution 9 to authorize a temporary part-time position to serve as project manager for the transition to electronic vouchers ending on June 30th, 2026.
Second.
Councilman Wagner,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Nay.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter.
Nay.
All right. The next one was originally going to be a resolution to authorize us to sign an updated engagement letter with the town's labor attorney. However, after Kyle reviewed this, we want to narrow the scope a little bit more on that, so I am making a motion to reschedule that for 2 weeks from now.
So to table,
Reschedule, Jen.
Reschedule it.
reschedule. Oh,
Tabling takes it off the agenda until it's, motion's made to bring it back. Rescheduling
see.
actually sets a firm
Yes.
date.
Can we be clear on what we're asking them to do so we're ready the next time it comes up?
Yes, I'll engage with the firm on tightening up the.
Okay, because I had the same criticism you did of it wasn't clear with its scope, what it was for.
Yeah.
So clearing the scope up and then going through an expected budget for for that. Those are the two main changes we want to see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
All right, the next one is our good friend Paul, again, to explain the federal tax credit compliance services for MS Consultants.
Yes, we've received an engagement letter from MSC LLC. It's actually a subsidiary of Bonadil. This is to perform the federal tax credit services in conjunction with the renewable energy project. As you know, Navitas is currently doing the planning and design for the project. And there's one first step that we need MSC to do in concurrently as Navitas is planning. We need to ensure that we comply with the IRS 80/20 rule, which essentially means you have to value the assets that you're replacing and compare that value to what you're paying for the new assets that are replacing those old assets. And it has to be an 80-20 ratio. We looked at this when we did the safe harbor memo, kind of superficially, and, you know, it looks like we're fine, but we actually need MSC to dig in and do a really good valuation and document the entire process, so we make sure we have a good leg to stand on with the IRS. That way, when the plan comes back from Navitas, we'll be certain that we're ready to go.
So I get,
Because there's more certainty as
I'm
far as
sorry.
getting the tax credit.
right, so my concern here, obviously everyone knows I'm not a proponent of the RNG project, but when I read through this, from a logistical standpoint, it just seems to me that before we committed to spend $438,000 on design,
348.
348, okay. We probably should have passed this resolution first and gotten this information. I know timing is of the essence, but this is going to take 60 to 90 days. How, and if it comes back negative, that we're not going to meet these standards, how much money of taxpayer dollars into thousands of dollars have we wasted? I mean, is there any way to recoup that?
Well,
I don't even know how long,
hired-
how far down the road they are with the design.
yeah, I mean, we hired Witham to provide a safe harbor memo, and the conclusion was that we were good to go. But this is, they think we're fine with the 80-20 rule, Witham is, but, you know, we just need the documentation now.
So, you know, Paul,
It's not guaranteed, that's
Correct.
the issue I have, is it, the revenue's not guaranteed, and the tax credits are not guaranteed. That's my issue. And it just seems to me that this should have come first, right? That's my issue.
Well,
And I thought it did come first with the Witham evaluation saying we were good. So I thought we were good, and we paid $45,000 for them to tell us we're good, to hear that that was good superficially for $45,000, and now it's another $121,000 to say that we're really, really good.
no, this first piece is.
so, and that's where
only
like, so,
20,000.
yeah, so there's,
Well,
there's,
it's $300 an hour is what they're billing.
yeah, but
It
still like,
seems exorbitant.
but just to
me.
clarify, Jennifer, like, we're getting really in the weeds in CPA firm landscape and verbiage here. The first one was like a general, like, you're 80% good. We're not gonna, you don't want to pay all the money to get all the way down to 100%. We're gonna get 80% of the way there. To John's point, the 80-20 rule, and to Paul's, is the next most critical step. It's the only step that we need to do first and foremost to ensure it's done.
I'm not questioning what you're saying.
But
at all.
sadly, just, in the engagement letter, the proposal MSC provided, Phase 1 had the 80-20 rule test in there. Unfortunately, the engagement letter they provided does not have the 80-20 test rule in Phase 1. So their engagement letter is inaccurate. It needs to be updated to just the 80-20 test, and we should still then push them to come a little bit lower in the price they charge Webster. So
Because
my guess, it wasn't, it was just an oversight by them of, they updated the proposal,
Yeah.
their team forgot to update the engagement letter, but they don't match. And what we sign, as Kyle will tell us, the engagement letter is what's legally binding. So ancillary stuff aside, the engagement letter needs to be updated. It's not yet ready for us to vote on because it's not right. It needs to be changed in scope and in price.
So would they be able, I presume they would be able to at least leverage some of the work that Witham did to,
Yeah.
that would help bring the cost down
Correct.
potentially?
Yes, and there's still some negotiating room that you can have with any accounting firm or service provider like this of, hey, like, that's the first offer. You can always come back and say, hey, let's get a look. Because, you know, Witham gave us a proposal, which I think Witham's proposal, Paul, was what, 300 to do this? Or 280?
Yeah, well, it was a minimum of 150,000, but they had other
Yeah.
lines in there that could have taken it to well over 200,000.
So we've already kind of shopped around a little bit of Witham was really expensive.
Yeah.
MSC is less. We can probably get MSC a little bit lower, but ultimately, the engagement letter still needs to be corrected to just, Phase 1 is just the 80-20 test. All that other stuff is really irrelevant because why do IRS registration, X, Y, Z? If we
Right.
can't pass the 80-20 test, all that other stuff is money wasted because if we fail that, great, you put us in the IRS system that we could apply for this credit that we'll never get.
Paul, how long do you think it would take for them to correct their proposal and engagement?
A day. It's a Word doc.
All right.
Send an email to them, get their admins to work on it, we'll get it back.
Is the 60 to 90-day timeline, is that realistic, Garrett? Paul?
I
Whoever?
think so.
And we can probably ask them and push them, you know, John, we only had one conversation with them, right, Paul, after we voted for the RNG. Have you had follow-up with them yet? With MSC on the scope and
Follow-up.
timing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think we can get that time frame down?
Yeah,
Okay. Because I think, John, to your ultimate point, that the sooner we can know that, so we feel like,
Right.
do we need to tell Navitas to stop doing design work, to not spend $340 for a waste?
That's
Is
my
going to make
point.
us feel better. So if we can
Right.
really, MSC.
I'm just trying to look out for the taxpayers.
Yeah, MSC,
right?
get us a proposal for just Phase 1, just the 80/20 thing, get it done ASAP.
Right.
We'll all then
How
feel
soon
better.
can they get it done?
Yeah, then we'll all
Not
feel
90
better.
days.
Yes, then we'll all feel better with what's going on.
Paul, you told me earlier today that this engagement letter is broken up into several phases.
it's broken into 4 phases.
Yep.
Yeah, one bite at a time.
Okay,
So
so
you're
we
only
don't
committing
need an
to one
engagement
phase
letter
at a
for
time.
each phase.
Right.
Kyle, your opinion on this, as you are a lawyer?
Should we just make a motion to table this
Reschedule.
or
We
reschedule?
need to reschedule, but Councilman Wagner has raised some concerns both in the scope as well as the price, so I think
Yeah.
it's appropriate to reschedule and engage with MSC.
Okay.
Paul, would rescheduling for 2 weeks from now put a damper in any of the work that needs to be done?
Well, it just pushes the tax work out 2 more weeks, but I don't think it's a big deal.
All right.
I think it's not it's unavoidable, Alex, too. Like, we
Yeah.
can't,
We don't have any choice.
yeah.
All right, I make a motion to reschedule our signing our engagement letter with MS Consultants.
I second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye?
Councilman Wagner,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter.
Aye.
All right, up next, well, Kyle, you want to explain the comptroller's issues and why we have to do all this next one?
I'll do my best. This is an ongoing saga, dates back until 2021. When expanding a sewer district, there's strict rules that we have to follow. The town has been working with the state comptroller's office, like I said, since 2021. We did gain approval for the extension of that Woodard Road Sewer District back early 2025. However, when the bids came back, they were substantially higher and exceeded the threshold that the comptroller had approved. So unfortunately, we're now in a position where we have to go back and amend our application to the comptroller to adjust for the increase in cost. Right now, Mary Ann is doing a great job in outreach with the folks on Woodard Road to keep them in the loop, as well as preparing the necessary paperwork and working with an attorney out of the comptroller's office so that we can ensure that we're successful on our next application. So the next step is to pass a resolution to set a public hearing to increase the amount that we're seeking approval for the Woodard Road extension.
So this is an increase that the state comptroller's office or the New York State pays, or each resident that wants to connect
Each
in?
resident will be billed for, and the comptroller's office puts out kind of like a pricing schedule as to what they think that the appropriate rates are. If you exceed that per household rate, you then have to go get the comptroller's opinion and approval to exceed that. Unfortunately, it seems as though what they believe to be an appropriate cost falls far short of what reality tells us when we get these bids back. So we did get approval for, I believe it was $194,000 back in early 2025. But the
Yeah.
bids, Paul, do you remember what the bids have come back at now?
Yeah, the lowest bid was 259,000. The highest was like 550,000.
There was a big swing.
So substantial increase. But that's why the outreach to the residents is important in trying to move as quickly as possible.
So
Are
the
the
only
residents
question I
okay
had,
with the increase,
well, that's my question. Have the residents bought into this increase?
or does that change the whole project?
Mary Ann, would you like to come up and explain to them what the residents have been saying so far?
So I did let the residents know that we had to go through this process again. They do not know exactly what the price will be because we won't know that until the project is completed. Once we know what is spent, each homeowner will know what's gonna be the final cost that they're gonna have put on their taxes every year. Unfortunately, it keeps going up and up and up. The latest that we had, they were at about $1,600 a year, and that was at the 194 that the state approved, because they wanted to finance it for 30 years. There's only 6 homes that are involved in the sewer project. So, because the bid came in $60,000 over,
Yeah.
the lowest bid, we have to rebid it and hope that we get the approval in a timely fashion so that the bids don't go up even more. And then once we decide who we're gonna pick to do the project and get that bid going and get the project completed, then we'll know exactly. But we can give them an estimate based on the lowest bid that we received this last time.
But it's only 6 homes.
Yep.
Are they all committed, and if one drops out, then it goes up for everybody else?
So, no, so there's 6 homes that are involved, and as long as 51% of the homeowners say that they want to proceed with the sewer project, even if you don't connect to the sewers, 5 of them are committed. There's 1 that has never shown up for anything, but we've constantly included them in everything. They still have to pay because they're part of the project, because they're in the middle of the project.
What's a turnaround time with a comptroller?
Wow.
It's a long.
It's been bad. They've been
It's
very bad
which
about
is-
this.
Which is why we pushed this
Yeah.
one for this public hearing, is because these residents have been waiting long enough.
Oh, yes.
We
So,
started the first
yeah.
application in August of 2022. And then they made us resubmit in August of 2023. And then they made us send additional items in 2024. And then they finally handed it over to somebody who was a little more realistic to deal with. And Charlie Genesi and I started working with her in February of 2024. And she helped us get the approval within a year.
Wow.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and the March 5th public hearing was the soonest we could. We tried getting it sooner. Deneen, Kyle, and I worked on it, but this is the absolute quickest we could get this stuff done because we want to expedite this as much
Yeah,
as
let's
soon
get
as
going,
possible.
for
So,
sure.
John, it is your department, so would you like to?
I'm going to move to set a public hearing on March 5th to consider increasing a dollar amount threshold for the Consolidated Sanitary Sewer District, specifically at the Woodard Road Extension, and to be published in the February 18th, 2026 edition of the Webster Herald.
Second.
Councilman Cahill.
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright.
Aye.
Supervisor Sheldon.
Aye.
Councilman Hunter.
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, last item on our agenda here is a resolution for send a proposed cell tower to the planning board. Now, I do believe there are people from Verizon here. Would you guys like to speak?
Sure, good evening. Robert Bergdorf of the law firm Nixon Peabody here tonight on behalf of Verizon Wireless, and also with me, for the records, Kathy Pomponio, project manager, Nico Facey, who's the VCW site acquisition consultant. This is an application for a 125-foot monopole for a cell site facility at the intersection of Lake Road and Monroe-Wayne County Line Road on a 100-foot lease parcel from, leased from Windmill Farms. We won't make a full presentation tonight, unless the board wanted it. I'll just very briefly summarize it because it's only a referral tonight. In the submitted materials, we'll rely on the submitted materials. You'll find the RF justification report setting forth why this facility is needed in order to provide adequate service to the cell. You'll find a search area showing the technical area within which it must be located in order to work and provide adequate coverage, and how it properly works off of the neighboring cells. Again, we've spent a lot of time in front of this board I know some folks are new, talking about the limited flexibility as to where this could be placed within the network and still meet network design criteria. You'll also find in there a site selection analysis. It sets forth the search of potentially acceptable locations within the search area that led us to this proposed site. And you'll also find other items that are required under the code: structure reports, EME compliance report, FCC licenses, photo simulations, and everything else required by the code. Procedurally, this has to go to county under 239M, so I'm assuming the town has already sent it to county. It also will require ag data notices prior to public hearings, so I assume that those will be sent out. And tonight, we're only in front of this board for a referral to the planning board, where we will go for site plan approval, and then to the ZBA for the height variance of 25 feet, and then back to this board for the special permit. Also set forth in the materials, and as was described at previous meetings, the approval standards are different from what's in the code. It's regulated both by federal law and state law, and happy to go into that to the extent the board wants, but in the end, a facility has to be approved that it works from a technical standpoint without unreasonable cost, unreasonable delay within the search area. And we believe we've scrubbed that well. We believe we found the best site, but you have all the materials to weigh in on that. And with that, unless the board has any other questions,
I have
would ask for a
nothing but-
referral.
Nick?
Thank
John?
you.
Nope.
I have
Jen?
a quick question.
Sure.
I appreciate the alternative sites. I saw that, and I don't believe we had that last time, the alternative sites to the Creekside site. So I appreciate that being in this packet. Also, just curious, I know the answer to this is probably no, but I'm going to ask anyways. Will this one help at all with the gap that currently exists in that area of 250 that is north of Clem?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about. If you're talking about the area that will be covered by what was called the Webster North cell when we were here before.
Yes.
Okay. No, this is not. It's a completely different one.
Oh, I know this is a completely different one and it's further away, but will
Right.
it help that situation
No.
at all, or it's just completely?
No, this is much too far away. It's a whole different cell, whole different coverage area. We have found a site, and we'll be making that application shortly for the Webster North replacement site.
All right, so we'll be expecting another one coming through then for that?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Garrett, any questions?
Nope.
Josh, how many neighbors, there's very few neighbors to this site, is that correct?
Yeah, there's probably maybe 4 or 5 residential
Right,
homes in the vicinity.
which is significantly different than last time.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, we won't have that same ability to be in a rural area for the alternate Webster North site.
Right.
That'll be in a very dense area, and will be, well, you'll see when we make that application. It's not for tonight.
Yep, thank you.
Well, with that, I will make a motion to refer a proposed 125-foot tall Verizon cell tower to the planning board for the purpose of conducting site plan review, located at the southwest corner of County Line and Lake Roads, tax ID 037.03144.
Second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye?
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
All right, backed by popular demand, before anything else, though, is our board's roundtable. So,
I didn't know we were doing that tonight.
yeah, I keep getting asked about it.
I didn't see the email.
I don't
I'm
send
totally unprepared. Oh,
Are
no.
you? I know you got
I
something.
am sure you can
I'm
come
sure,
up with
yeah, I'm sure
something
you
off
can
the
come up
top
with
of your
something,
head.
John. Garrett, would you like to start us off here?
I mean, I guess so. I got called on.
What did you just say? You got a coat on?
No, since I got called on, I guess I'll
Oh,
go
okay.
first. I think for me, like, we've heard from the residents recently, and we see this across the country, like, the political divide in our country is not great right now. And one of the nice things about stepping into this locally is, at the local level, it's really not about politics. It's not about party. Like, you hear us up here, we're not debating Republican and Democratic issues. We're up here just as people trying to work together. And you see that tonight, like, this isn't exciting, but this also isn't, like, partisan. Like, we're discussing cell towers and contracts with vendors and accounting systems and, like, accounting rules, like, but it's how it is, right? It's the community coming together, and I appreciate especially Cahill, Councilman Cahill and Jennifer right here of working together with all of us to like, in the best interest of Webster, because that's what it's about, right?
And
Us
let's
coming
be
together.
honest, the accounting part is really boring.
Yes.
And you're really good at it.
Yes, I can agree. It is super boring.
Well
But-
said.
But I just want to say, like, I've enjoyed that and appreciated that, and the residents should know that like, we're all up here, we're just people working as best we can for all of you. It's not a party thing. It's just people up here trying to do the best we can. So thank you.
100%. Well said.
Jennifer?
Well, a few residents stole my thunder, sort of, on the highway. I do want to acknowledge the hard work that the highway department is doing, clearing all of this snow. This has been a monumental storm and amount of snow, and a lot of us have been buried in it for a long time. And the highway department, excuse me, works very hard, and they have a lot of ground to cover. And I know we can't answer questions, and the gentleman left, and I'm sure Pat will get back to him. The roads in the main thoroughfare are definitely the priority because there's higher traffic on them. And we also have sensible salting in Webster because the salt is expensive and we need to ration it. There's been shortages. So that's part of the reason why the side streets and subdivisions don't get the same attention as the main roads. And it's not about getting money from Monroe County. It really is about making the roads that all of us need to drive on be safe. And they do a great job. And every once in a while, there's a casualty mailbox, and they take care of those, and it's not their fault, and they're not out there on purpose trying to just take out as many mailboxes as they can. So I just wanted to sort of answer that question and acknowledge. And I also, I try and touch on the different departments I'm liaison for. So the Parks and Rec has done a great job and is going to have another wildly successful summer camp this year. They do a fantastic job at creating more and different and expanded programming, and we should be very thankful that we have such a great group of people who are doing really innovative things with our Parks and Recreation Department. And the reval is
I was going to say, you have a really
progressing.
big department that has a really big project coming on, too.
Yes, yes. So, and there'll be more community engagement sessions on that. So there's a lot, there's always a lot going on in the town, and it never ceases to amaze me what it takes to run a town of our size.
And I want to echo Garrett's sentiment about us having the conversation that while it is boring, it is important that all of us are heard up here, which is why, you know, you listen to these conversations of us talking about this. It's on public record. It's your understanding that, you know, we're actually asking these questions. And I think that if we were to just get all of our information in secret and or by ourselves and then not answer any of your guys' questions, that it would just look like we're just blanketly voting down. So having these conversations with all of our different backgrounds is vitally important to being a very transparent government. John?
Yeah, it's always good to have different points of view, and the one thing that I like is about this board is, you know, we're all engaged, we do our research, we don't just come up here and just vote. You know, we can vocalize our support or non-support for every project, but we'll typically, everyone will have a reason for our viewpoint on any specific project. And to your point, Garrett, with respect to what's going on in this country, it's pretty unnerving. And the more and more that comes out every single day gives us pause and makes me appreciate the fact that I live where I live. I took the opportunity to speak with the chief and the captain because there was something nationwide that was concerning me. I'm not going to get into specific as far as the question that I asked, but we have got one heck of a team with the Webster Police Department. You saw it here on full display at the beginning of this meeting. So thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Nicholas?
Amen. I'll second that about the police department. It's been an honor to get to know these guys, and I'm so happy that this town has such a good force to back it. And I'll second what we're saying pretty much down the line. We're kind of becoming a team here, regardless of the different backgrounds. The idea is that we want to do the best for the town, and we have some complicated things to work through because we are a town, We do have expenditures that we don't have a choice but to pay for, things that we have to maintain, and we need to be responsible in how we do that. And every single one of us is thinking about that, thinking about long-term, how we can set this town up for success so that our kids can enjoy the town that we enjoy. So it's been an absolute pleasure serving for you guys. It's only been a month, but thank you so much. So I appreciate the opportunity. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mom.
Now, I would like to make a motion to enter executive session to discuss employment history of current employees. Jesus, Kyle, you gotta get better writing. Pursuant to Public Officers Law 105F.
Did he write that in cursive? That's why you can't read it?
No.
Oh.
That's only Jennifer
Sorry,
with a cursive
I
up
can read
there,
cursive
okay?
and Roman numerals, so.
All right.